Okay, good day everyone. I'm Iris and together with me are my members, Matt, Julia, Sam, and Ziana. And today we're going to be addressing some questions related to Ayala Corporation. So to begin this report, let's first begin with the first question. Identify the different business units of Ayala Corporation and discuss their products. So basically, as one of the biggest corporations in the country, Ayala branches out its business units in different categories: real estate and hotels, financial services and insurance, telecommunications, water infrastructure, electronics, manufacturing, power generation, and automotive, IT, BPO, and others are all part of the parent company. Excluding its joint ventures and partnerships, the following are the corporation's major business units. So let's first start with the first category, which is real estate. So Ayala Land, more to be more specific, responsible for providing efficient and holistic master plan communities. Its services revolve around ensuring and creating strategic land bank management, residential development, retail shopping malls, corporate businesses, and hotels and resorts. The following are the five brands of Ayala Land. Number one, Ayala Land Premier, which assures quality to its clients through providing prestigious condominiums and estates in the most prime locations in the Philippines. And one of its daring ventures comes into the concept and creation of the leisure dedicated Anvaya Cove residences in Bataan. And second, we have Alveo, which focuses more on master planned communities. Ayala Land extends its vision through Alveo, where they build more than just homes and help build better lives. And third, we have Avida. So, like the previously mentioned brands, Avida lets you choose a glamorous yet affordable lifestyle by giving three choices of property types: condominium, house and lot, and office. And we have 4 and 5, which are Amaya and Bella Vita. So next category is banking and financial services. So the Bank of the Philippines Islands is one of the largest banking and financial companies in the Philippines. Consumer banking and lending, asset management, payments, insurance, securities trading and distribution, foreign exchange, leasing, and corporate and investment banking are only some of the great services provided by BPI. And next, for telecommunications, we have Globe Telecom Incorporated, which is the largest mobile network provider. It ranges from the fixed line to broadband networks, and the company operates to serve various customers and consumers, from small, medium, and sized businesses, large scale corporations, and industries to everyday individuals. Next, we have energy and power. So, the 10-year-old Ayala founded AC Energy explores new ways in providing renewable and thermal energy. The unit sought other ways to expand its reach. In 2016 and 2017, its services expanded with the inclusion of construction, operation, and maintenance of power projects, as well as the acquisition, retail, supply, and delivery of energy.
So next, for healthcare, established in 2015, AC Health aims to close the gaps in access, cost, and quality gaps that many Filipinos, especially those in the low-class sector, experience. This subsidiary seeks to improve healthcare delivery by establishing a synergistic and integrated healthcare ecosystem that spans the whole care continuum. Next, logistics. The technology-driven Entrigo's objective is to make provisions in terms of fulfillment and logistics services to Philippine businesses. Entrigo Express Corporation, a subsidiary of Entrigo, manages courier and express parcel services. Entrigo is supported by Ayala Corporation's AC Infrastructure Holdings Corporation and the Global Fashion Group. Next slide, would be the portfolio investments. First, the Manila Water. The Manila Water Company Incorporated was founded in 1997 and has been providing water and wastewater services to over 6 million people in Manila's East Zone. Next would be AC Infra. AC Infra designs and engages in key projects in the fields of mass transit, urban mobility, and logistics to fulfill the rising infrastructure demands of the public and private sectors. Examples of their products can be seen in the country's railing system, contactless payment system, fulfillment, and logistics solutions. Next would be AC Industrials. AC Industrial Technology Holdings Incorporated combines the strengths of Integrated Microelectronics Incorporated, a trailblazing manufacturing company in the Philippines, and a major player in electronic manufacturing services or EMS, and AC Automotive, the Philippines' largest multi-brand dealership organization and a leading Philippine vehicle distribution company carrying Honda, Isuzu, Volkswagen, and KTM. Next would be AC Ventures. Next slide. The early stage technology investment AC Ventures specializes in digital disruptors in Southeast Asia. By investing in enterprises that achieve both, the firm hopes to contribute to the well-being and serenity to its clients as well as the ease of their daily lives. Lastly would be the iPeople. iPeople Incorporated is a company that specializes in information technology, education, consulting, and system installation and maintenance. Malayan Education System, Malayan Colleges Laguna, Mapua Information Technology Center, Malayan High School of Science, and Malayan Colleges Mindanao are the education segments that generate the most money.
Okay, next we move on to the second question. For each business unit of AYALA Corporation, provide an example of a business risk it faces and then describe an example of a control that could be used to reduce the business risk the group has identified. So first we have for real estate, the general business unit of its own has identified countless risks in their own website. Given that AYALA Land and its respective brands specialize in real estate, there are several risks associated with the business unit. One of these risks is considered within the internal organization that powers the business unit. It is readily apparent that AYALA Land's people are its strongest point. Any business unit can relate to this. If its people do not do good either unintentionally or on their own volition, the company will be at risk. To counter this possible risk, AYALA Land lays its risk mitigation. The company continues to tap various sources to make sure that there are adequate and quality personnel to meet the demands of the business and to ensure the employees are valued for their contribution to the company and are continuously empowered through professional development opportunities. By hiring accountable, able-minded individuals, AYALA Land can avoid and ultimately eradicate any possibility of organizational risks. Next slide, please. Next, we move on to banking and financial services. The Bank of the Philippine Islands, BPI, also curated its own website covering the enterprise's risk management, where it lists the business unit's identified risks. Among the major identified risks, information security is perhaps the most well-known in the list. This is anchored to the company's online banking branch, BPI Direct, a vulnerable point when it comes to cybersecurity or the lack thereof. Identified risks like malware, unencrypted data, unsecure third-party services, manipulated data, and spoofing put the consumer's information at risk. With the customer's information comes the access to their financial data. Last 2020, BPI was confronted by the Senate panel due to a system glitch which caused missed posts on customers' accounts. In order to address the problem, BPI assured both the Senate and its clients that BPI's cybersecurity system works well against hackers trying to access their system and steal client information. The same solutions help in mitigating a breach in the system. This is why BPI Direct and the company itself stands tall to this day as it invests in the latest technology and formal threat intelligence programs to protect their clients' information. However, there is one more pressing risk that banking and financial services companies may face, and that is economic slowdown. The annual report shows that BPI's net income in 2020 is 25.7% short of the 2019's net income. The economic slowdown resulted in loan losses, which also led to non-performing loans. This is inevitable, of course. BPI has always found ways. The utilization of conventional channels and digital assets will continue to drive growth in small to medium enterprises, consumer, and microfinance lending.
For telecommunications, Globe Telecom Incorporated emphasizes the cruciality of effective risk management. Globe recognizes that its organization faces similar risks as other Ayala business units. The rise of a third mobile player, alluding to Dito Telecommunications, will affect Globe's revenues and subscriber base, especially when the rising competitor promises faster data speeds with cheaper prices. Globe remains unbothered despite the competition. This is because the demand will continue increasing, especially during these trying times. Similarly, with rising demand for high-speed internet service among addressable homes, Globe and incumbent carriers will accelerate the installation of fiber-to-the-home service. Unlike other telecommunications companies, Globe monitors where, when, and how users use their phones thanks to customer analytics and usage tracking. In terms of understanding, predicting, and delivering on client demands, this capacity was a major competitive advantage. Next, for energy and power. The most obvious risk the energy sector faces every day comes in the form of constant brownouts. Despite AC Energy's focus on renewable and sustainable energy, power interruptions may still persevere. This is usually caused by catastrophic events which may damage sources of renewable energy and power stations. While renewable energy is better for the environment, it is difficult to sustain due to their energy renewal process being weather dependent. The company may lose millions for overtly relying on such tools. As a counteractive measure, companies in the power sector, like AC Energy, should take these possibilities into consideration. They must not rely on cheap and reliable sources of energy. The company shall invest in virtually invulnerable materials to build their solar panels, windmills, and other power generators in order to avoid losing millions whenever a typhoon comes and goes. Next, for healthcare, AC Health is an essential private sector partner in healthcare. With the emergence of the pandemic, the idea of accessible healthcare has been immobilized. Most people, from clients to patients, fear even merely stepping foot on the hospital due to COVID-19. In these trying times, AC Health convinces healthcare professionals to explore telehealth services, telemedicine consultations, online drug purchasing and delivery, and clinic and diagnostic testing booking are all available through this primary care platform. It enables doctors to perform their profession at any time and from any location, allowing them to see more patients and maintain continuity of treatment while keeping track of their time and schedule. Albeit the pandemic is temporary, it is given that it will take years for everything to go back to normal. Telehealth services will ensure that healthcare will remain accessible and catch up in a society using the internet as a clutch during lockdown. For logistics, Entrago's business risks are similar to other logistics companies. Loss and delay of packages affect every logistics company in the world. One way to address this is to communicate with the client. Although this may seem like a meager solution, a great customer service center will solve this business risk.
Okay, so now we move on to the business risks and controls for the portfolio investments of Ayala Corporation. Again, the portfolio investments in various of the Ayala Corporation is in various industries, including water, industrial technologies, infrastructure, and education, which are envisioned to drive growth in the long term. So to start off is the Manila Water. So the business risks and control include physical risk, which dangers that pose a threat to physical assets, including your buildings, equipment, and people. Climate risk, which are risk assessments based on formal analysis of the consequences, likelihood, and responses to the impacts of climate changes and how societal constraints shape adaptation options. So in Manila Water, the CEO Water Mandate, which is an initiative by the UN Global Compact designed to assist companies in the development, implementation, and disclosure of comprehensive water strategies and policies, has identified 3 risks water-related businesses may encounter. First is the physical, second is the regulatory, and third is the reputational. Out of all the 3, physical risks pose a much complicated long-term problem. Impacts from climate change are foreseen to have a great effect on water-related businesses. Drought severity and uncertain economic forecasts in the region as a result of high temperatures might diminish the utilities customer base owing to unpleasant living circumstances. Furthermore, frequent changes in climate may affect the stability of utilities consumer base. Perhaps the most pressing problem that may be the fact that the water source may be exposed to pollution due to high temperatures. So in the event Ayala's very own Manila Water experiences these grave risks, controls in engineering design, construction, and operations may mitigate the aforesaid business risks. The company shall consider these controls, and with this in mind, the Manila Water can overcome this hypothetical adversity. Despite the hypothetical risk that there is no doubt Manila Water can withstand climate-related risks. Well-managed dams, impounding reservoirs, deep wells, water treatment facilities, pumping stations and reservoirs, water distribution and sewage networks, and wastewater treatment facilities are among Manila Water's property, plant, and equipment. Next is the AC infrastructure. For the AC infrastructure, the business risks include construction and completion risk, which means risk that a project will not be brought into operation successfully or be able to pass its completion test. Along with other infrastructure businesses, AC Infra may face construction and completion risk. This risk is self-explanatory. The budget for construction, possible delays, and the finished product's performance may all affect the business financially. The construction contractor would be liable for liquidated damages if the project is not completed on time. If the infrastructure fails to achieve its definition of completion, the business will be put at risk, reputation and all. Then experts explain the solution that can counter the aforesaid construction and completion risk. The project firm will want to make sure that the completion requirements specified in the construction contract can be measured objectively and that the lenders do not have the power to deny completion based on their subjective assessment of the job. Technical assessment by independent specialists or standard measures or procedures with fully probable outcomes that are not unduly prone to disagreement may also be used. Next is the AC Industrials. AC Industrials business risk is obsolescence, which is the risk that a process, product, or technology used or produced by a company for profit will become obsolete. So, while AC Industrials provide several services and products, including vehicle distribution and retail, technology-centered products, and global manufacturing, obsolescence is one of the business' greatest risks they might face. Obsolescence of equipment and software can lead to delay and reduced income. Proactive lifetime management is the greatest approach to combat obsolescence. This involves identifying current obsolescence concerns and devising strategies to make older equipment more maintainable and provide easier access to spare parts. Methods like asset assessment and install and methods like asset assessment and installed base evaluation, or IBE, can also used as a mitigation to make the controls of AC Industrial efficient. Then the MTC Con is always trying to improve its facilities and optimize its resources. Merlin is concentrating on increasing sales and keeping a solid revenue pipeline. A focus is the development of innovative grid technologies to reduce costs and boost profitability. And this is why AC Industrials has this risk mitigated, because they are always prepared.
So for AC Ventures, we have technological risks and as a business risk. And for control, we have streamlining operations, up-to-date software, and technology. So basically, the many perceived risks in technological ventures include the continued emergence of new technology. Albeit AC Ventures specializes in bringing Ayala's varied strategic investments, this process relies on digitalization and interconnectivity, both fast-paced changes in technology. However, AC Ventures seek to create the groundwork for Ayala in the midst of the rapid speed of disruptive transformation. It's Ayala's platform for getting a sneak peek at new technology and business concepts that are relevant to the company. Streamlining operations will prevent any financial risks from blossoming. One way to mitigate this possible risk is to operate the business with up-to-date software and technology. With the appropriate platforms, tasks that were formerly tedious may now be easily simplified or even automated. You can assist all parts of your organization function smoothly and effectively by staying on top of evolving technology and tech trends. Ayala's integrated report does not directly report AC Ventures encountered business risks. However, it shows that despite the ever-changing disposition of technological trends, there's a 31% growth in Zalora's MMV. If anything, this problem aided in their profit and utilization. Since the pandemic affected the country, there has been a 3.6 times increase in GCash's monthly users. This tells us that AC Ventures has indeed coped up to the speed of technological advances. Next, we have iPeople. So the pandemic is iPeople's collective business risk. It has immobilized many of its students, narrowing Ayala's education footprint. Synchronous online classes have proven to be inefficient in both teaching and learning. The sudden inflation of tuition fees and general necessities prices have incapacitated the working class, resulting to a great population of students to quit schooling. With Mapua focusing on STEM courses, the lack of face-to-face classes will affect the motivation of iPeople's accumulated student population, hence resulting in decrease. The solution to this problem, however, is still being tested despite the pandemic being over a year old. Education-centered businesses should reevaluate and make changes on flexible learning to make sure that every student has access to quality education. Even if technology enables students to learn, it limits them too. By merging offline methods, which are module-based classes, and online means, like synchronous Zoom classes, iPeople may save its hypothetically dropping student population. However, Ayala Corporation Integrated Report in 2020 shows iPeople's smooth transition to distance learning. In other words, iPeople's schools were not gravely affected by COVID-19, unlike other universities and colleges. However, there's a significant 5% decrease in iPeople's tertiary schools enrollment. Platforms like Mapua Digital Academics, which is a technology-driven educational platform, and APEC Agile and APEC Flex, which is a blended learning curriculum and homeschooling program, iPeople continues to overcome the adverse effects of the pandemic. So for the third question, we are asked for each business unit to categorize its strategy as being focused on either customer intimacy and others. So first, we have customer intimacy. So for customer intimacy, let's focus first on Globe Telecom. Globe Telecom's strategy seeks to serve its new customers. The telecom wants to know customers deeply to enrich digital lives and businesses. The business unit pursues to be a purpose-driven organization to fortify their workforce in order to achieve their vision for the nation. And under customer intimacy as well is Ayala Land. Ayala Land has strategized a 5-action plan to lay out its objectives for the following year. Number 1, financial sustainability. Second, protecting the workforce. Third, serving our customer. Fourth, helping the community. And fifth, thinking ahead to recover. Not only does Ayala Land ensure its employee safety, the business unit also guarantees excellent service to its customers by making user-friendly digital platforms to know their clients' wants and needs. So under operational excellence, first we have iPeople. So iPeople lists 3 strategies in their portfolio. Number 1 is to implement a hybrid model of distance and on-site learning, improve learning outcomes, and deploy synergies across the IPO system to improve student value proposition and efficiency. These 3 strategies prove iPeople's determination improve their operation. Furthermore, iPeople desires its schools to achieve higher scores in accreditation in 2021. For that priority to be realized, iPeople wants to measure students' performance in exams, employability, and external quality assurance and recognition. Second, we have AC Infra. AC Infra strategies include number 1, ensure high levels of efficiency for operating companies under government concessions. And number 2, expand portfolio of infrastructure-related business. And so with Entrigo focusing on efficiency, it is obvious that the business unit strategies revolve around achieving operational excellence. And third, we have AC Industrials. So AC Industrial strategies are as follows. Number 1, legacy on larger scale operations, new growth operations, and thirdly, high-tech investments. Even without elaborating, it is clear that AC Industrial seeks to up its game in the industry. However, before they can lead the industrial sector, they must first focus on operational excellence. Hence why despite the first strategy, which is to become a legacy in the industry, the 2 other strategies prove to lean more on improving one's operations.
Continuing further, we have AC Energy. AC Energy focuses on energy transition, expanding in high-growth regional markets, and gaining leverage in strategic partnerships to complement internal development capabilities. This makes the business unit centered around operational excellence. Moving further, for Entrigo, despite being featured as Ayala's logistics business unit, Entrigo does not have any recorded strategies in the annual integration report. However, it is apparent that they seek to achieve operational excellence since their services and brand reputation rely on their workforce's capability to guarantee excellent amenities. For BPI, the Bank of the Philippine Islands endeavors to, firstly, increase the value of assets in high-margin enterprises. Second, fortify franchise financing. Third, pursue the rationalization of distribution channels. And fourth, increase the population of digital platform users. Therefore, BPI seeks to achieve operational excellence. Lastly, for AC Ventures. AC Ventures strategies revolve around the betterment of opportunities, offshore investments, and scale and profitability for the Ayala Group. Next slide. Lastly, for product leadership, we have Manila Water. Manila Water emphasizes advocacy in its strategies. Firstly, advocate for water security and sustainability. And second, advocate for environmental sustainability through committed wastewater service obligations. Businesses with these priorities tend to focus on being the leading advocate for these causes. Lastly, we have AC Health. While healthcare companies focus on customer intimacy, AC Health's strategy is focused on becoming the largest integrated care delivery network in the country across primary, specialty, and multi-specialty platforms, among others. The business unit's strategy aims to lead healthcare in the country by fortifying the pharmaceutical supply chain and broadening the pharmaceutical portfolio. Albeit AC Health and all other healthcare services emphasize patients' needs, it is necessary to improve one's service and envision to lead the healthcare sector in order to maintain that satisfactory customer intimacy.
For the fourth requirement, we are asked to identify one corporate social responsibility program of AYALA Corporation and discuss whether it is a good program or not. Also, we are asked to provide suggestions on how to improve such program and the reason behind the suggestion. So, one of the many created initiatives by the Corporate Social Responsibility arm of AYALA Corporation is the Iraya Mangyan program, a project dedicated to honing the skills and knowledge of the native Iraya Mangyan community. Based in Galera, Talipanan, Oriental Mindoro, the program also aids in the revival of Iraya Mangyan culture, one of which includes basket weaving. The Ayala Foundation endeavors to introduce our indigenous roots through ways including but not limited to: first, featuring Iraya Mangyan products in Ayala malls; second, serving over 280 Iraya Mangyan families; third, incubating at least 130 Iraya Mangyan scholars; fourth, helping promote Iraya Mangyan families in accessing healthcare; and fifth, engaging weavers and bag artisans alike into reviving and making their traditions profitable. Operating since 1991, this project has kept the Iraya Mangyan culture from dissipating. Through the collaboration of designers and entrepreneurs, namely Zara de Jesus Juan and Doña Bea Zobel, Iraya Mangyan women have preserved their multifaceted weaving traditions. Around 5.2 million sales of Iraya Mangyan knitted projects have been made, making yet another successful Ayala Foundation program. Without any doubts, this program addresses the prevention of urbanizing such an essential indigenous group. In other words, it is a great program. It has aligned good intentions with generating profit. However, it focuses more on their artistic culture rather than the backbone of their community and traditions, which is their language. The Iraya Mangyan ethno-linguistic practice is kept alive only through conversations due to the lack of writing system. While the program has rebirthed basket weaving, agriculture, artisanry, and many aspects of their culture, it can be concurred that the involvement of such a huge corporation aids in the mortality of the community's ethno-linguistic practices. Many Iraya Mangyan have settled in speaking Tagalog, disregarding their own culture. Perhaps the only suggestion to make this program more beneficial to the Iraya Mangyan community is to initiate programs that would preserve each facet of their culture. However, it is undeniable that this would take more time, effort, and money to pull off. Other than that, the program serves its purpose to its target community.
Okay, so for the last requirement of this PAA is the question, after going over the annual report of the Ayala Corporation, is the document purely a financial accounting document or not? Okay, so to answer this question, as observed in the Ayala Corporation 2020 Integrated Report, the document is not purely a financial accounting document. There are parts in the report where Ayala Corporation discuss their plans, decision-making process, and analysis of the management about the corporation's financial condition. Moreover, an integrated report is composed of different information or factors including financial information, human and manufacturing capital, social relationships, and the like. And in connection, it is undeniable that parts of the report consisted of financial information critical for users like creditors and other stakeholders. There are also sections there that compare the net operating income of Ayala for years 2019 and current year 2020. Overall, it does feature the corporation's losses, revenues, profits, recoveries, and other factors presented through numbers. The portfolio shows a side of Ayala Corporation that is often overlooked by the masses. The care they have not only for their business, but also for their clients. So, to answer this question as a conclusion, the annual report of Ayala Corporation is not purely a financial accounting document. That would be all. Thank you.